You sound so much like me. Are you sure you're not me? I mean, you don't look like me, but...
You do look like my Uncle Arthur.
Oh.
And he's a priest. He really is. He's a priest. So
And a dead handsome man, I guess.
Very, very handsome. Very handsome.
Meet Palle Bo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything, his house, his car, his furniture, and set out with a quest to visit every single country in the world, documenting everything along the way. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
They were saying that the tropical storm that is coming in over this part of the country might give us some issues on getting here on time, but absolutely no problem. And it's actually quiet now here in Baton Rouge, and looks fine. It's almost 4 in the afternoon, and I just got my rental car, and actually it looks as if it's bigger than the one I expected to get. And I have, let's see, almost 2 hours drive down to a small place called Natchez. It's going to be exciting to take on this next leg of my journey. Welcome to the Mississippi. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast. This episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels and guest houses and hostels around the world in one simple search. Hotels25.com. It's best price guaranteed.
Today, so keep it here on Eagle 98.1.
For years, James David served the central and surrounding communities.
They just said on the radio, classic rock station here that I'm listening to, that the tropical storm Cindy has been downgraded to a tropical depression. And then he said, we're pretty much done. It's just going to be a few scattered showers here and there, but it looks as if the storm just didn't go to be as bad as they were expecting. So that is good news. That is good news. I had a little bit of rain in the beginning of the trip, but now the sky is blue and the rain has stopped. So that pretty much goes hand in hand as to what he said on the radio. I have a few hours of driving down to Natchez, and when I get there, I have 3 weeks almost where I'm taking care of a house with 3 cats. The woman who's owning the house has already left for her vacation, and since I couldn't be here before now, she found another one to take care of the cats in the house for the first week, and that's a British woman called Jackie, and we've been corresponding a little bit, and she said she's pretty much in the same situation as me. I can't wait to hear her story when I get there. Yeah. Honey, I'm home. So when I got here to Natchez, Mississippi, there was already a person here at the house that I'm staying in for the next 3 weeks, or the next 2 weeks. And that's you, Jackie.
It certainly was, and it's Jax.
Jax.
J-A-C''S.
Okay, yeah. That's on your birth certificate.
No, but hey.
Yeah. Jax. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Where you're from?
I'm from Europe.
Well, so am I.
I'm a little more than 50.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 21.
Yeah, right.
But I'm much prettier than you, yeah?
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely, yeah.
My kids have all grown up. I sold my house.
Oh, me too.
I sold all my stuff.
Yep, me too.
Really?
Yeah. So what are you doing now?
I'm traveling non-stop.
Yeah, me too.
In the USA I am at the minute.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
You too?
Obviously. We're here, yeah. And you're doing house sitting?
Here I am.
So what else, Jax?
Well, I don't have an address in England anymore.
So you're homeless.
I'm certainly homeless.
Like me.
Yeah. No, this is really canny.
Yeah.
No. I don't have an address anymore, so I'm just travelling until I've decided enough's enough. When that will be, I really don't know. I have no plans. It really is an adventure. No plans other than for the next till September the 8th. And then I leave America, and then I go elsewhere, and then elsewhere, and again, no plans. Seriously, it's day by day.
You sound so much like me. Yeah. Are you sure you're not me? I mean, you don't look like me, but...
You do look like my Uncle Arthur.
You are listening to the Radio Vagabond podcast. If you like what you hear, please leave a review in iTunes. If you're listening on an iPhone, you can actually do it right there within your podcast app. And now, back to the show. You're about to leave in a few minutes to drive up to Memphis and then Nashville and then down to New Orleans where you're house sitting for 2 months?
For 2 months, yeah.
Wow.
No pets, just sitting a beautiful house on a beautiful lake in a beautiful area. So I can't wait for all that jazz. New Orleans, bring it on. 4th of July, I'll be in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I might come down there. I can see Bourbon Street 4th of July. It's not that far away.
3 hours drive from Natchez.
Yeah.
But you're more than welcome. Please do. It'd be great to see you.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun knowing you.
So we had the pleasure of each other's company for a few days, and maybe we should talk a little bit about what we did, because you were here a week before me, so you could show me around.
Yeah, I've always loved the Deep South, and you know what? I've always wanted to go to a gospel church, and we did that together, which was really good.
Yeah, we went to a gospel church on Sunday.
We did.
It's Sunday, almost 11 o'clock here in Natchez, and I'm at a Baptist church, and the sermon is about to start already. There's a choir singing and a band playing, and I've never been to a gospel sermon before, but it's going to be quite an experience, I'm sure.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome.
And that was really amazing. In this church, there were us as the only white people,
We were.
and one more, Stephen.
Yeah.
We spoke to him as well, but it was us
It
as
was
the white
only
people,
us.
and we sat on the back row or far back in the church.
We did. It was great. The music was beautiful.
And the Reverend, he was doing a sermon, and all of a sudden he started singing, and the choir sang with him,
Yeah.
and he was preaching, but at the same time singing.
It was
I
like a
thought
musical.
that was amazing.
Yeah, it was like a musical. It was really... He was so passionate, his story became a song, you know. He was singing words to Jesus, you know, to us all. And that's when I felt it the most, because he wasn't just talking like, you know, from a book. He was singing from his heart, and it was just so real. I'll never forget it.
I counted around 28, 29 people in the choir.
Yeah.
And-
Great gospel choir, all ages.
Oh yeah, and a band. Yeah.
Yeah. Drummer, pianist, guitar. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was all good. No harp, but
No, at one point he started talking to the congregation. He spoke to some of the people on the front rows, and then he pointed at me and said, "Where are you from?"
He did. And what did you say?
I yelled out, Denmark! Denmark!
Oh.
And remember, we were on the back road, and I thought, oh, he saw this white guy in the back, and he was interested. He's different. He's not from around here. Where are you from? And I yelled out, Denmark. And it turned out he wasn't talking to me.
And everybody then turned to both of us, looked at you, started laughing.
I do not remember when I blushed before. I was.
The heat from your body was making me sweat. I had to move away.
Yeah, you moved. You moved around.
I moved 4 foot away from you because I was mortified.
No, actually, there was a guy sitting closer to him, but right in the line between me and the pastor, and he was talking to him, and it was so embarrassing.
And everybody turned around to look at you.
Yeah.
Everybody was laughing though.
Yeah, and then I turned on the recorder. I didn't get the thing on tape when when I yelled out Denmark, but then I turned on the recorder, and then a few minutes later he pointed at me again and said, "You in the back, where you from?" And I didn't want to say anything because I'm not gonna embarrass myself twice. So I just sat there, and then I pointed at myself, saying, "Me? Yes, you." And then I answered, and then he said, stand up, please."
Yeah, it was so nice. It was lovely.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like.
Me?
My name is Palle. I'm visiting from Denmark.
Thank all of you for coming on today.
So that was so funny.
It was amazing. I will carry that to my grave. I will die laughing. That was fantastic.
Yeah, you could not stop laughing.
No, I couldn't. Even through the service, my shoulders was. I had a workout. My tummy, my cheeks was aching. My mascara had run down my face. I went to the toilet to wash my hands after the service, and I had black on my face. I thought, "What's that?" All the mascara had run down my face.
Have I been crying?
Oh, but it was amazing.
Yeah, and before we went, I was sort of a little bit worried as are we welcome to go in there and not being part of the community, but absolutely they were really welcoming, accepting, and
yeah, they were beautiful. But I actually, in real life, I don't think I've ever seen an angel, and I really mean this. I don't think that the look in that woman's face when she greeted us, I truly believe she was an angel. Her eyes were so kind, her skin was so beautiful, her spirit, and she made us welcome, and I relaxed. Yeah. And like you said, it's quite daunting, and we're in the south. We're not just anywhere, we're in the deep south where, a lot of
and there was a girl, what do you say, 12, 13 years old, being baptized?
No, confirmed. Yeah.
But they
like
dipped her in water.
Yeah, they did, yeah. Completely immersed her in a bath, in a pool of water, which was gorgeous. Again, it was really beautiful. They were singing all the way through it, weren't they? And she had a white robe on, and even the is it a pastor? They don't call them a pastor. What do they call them?
Reverend. It did say pastor
they were
as well.
All in the water together, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they were all stood in the water, all completely saturated, and then they dunked her under. And I thought that was beautiful, and to see that as well.
Yeah.
In a gospel church, everybody singing "Oh Happy Days" and praise. It was just gorgeous. It was a day I will never forget, and we shared it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two homeless people.
Two homeless people. Homeless by choice.
On a journey.
And when we came outside, this other white guy came up and spoke to us, and he was actually from Natchez. He's not living here now, but he's from Natchez, and he's been going to a mixed school. So he had a lot of a friend of the African American people, and they had a school reunion.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
nice guy.
No, sir, I don't mind.
Charlie, we've just been to the sermon, and you said that you're here back in Natchez where you grew up for a school reunion.
That's correct. Yes.
You went to what kind of school was that?
The school I went to here, I went to several schools, but I graduated from high school in a public school, and it was a school that historically was segregated, but in the early 70s, late 60s, we had desegregation.
Mm-hmm. So it was a mixed school.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're just having our 30th high school reunion, and one of the organizers invited us to come to their church for their services today, and glad we happened to meet you here as well. But had a wonderful, honorable time.
Yeah, and I grew up as a Christian Lutheran in Denmark, and the kind of church we have there is very, very quiet. Even though sometimes there was someone performing and singing, you would never clap in a Danish church. And it's like, wow, it's singing so good, I want to clap, but oh, you don't do that. It's very, very, this is so different.
It is different, and my religious experience growing up was different as well, probably on a spectrum of less outward and more concentrating on an inward experience. And through time, I think our God is glorified in many different expressions of worship, and not to put any. There's a lot of preference, and I think we need to recognize where there's preference and recognize true teaching, or concentrate more on that aspect.
Good to meet you. You're listening to the Radio Vagabond podcast. Before we continue, I want to remind you that I have a Facebook page where I share a lot of thoughts, pictures, and videos. You'll find it by going to facebook.com/PalaRadioVagabond.
I'd like to welcome you to Longwood. We do ask that.
Another thing that's very unique for the Deep South is the antebellum houses.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful,
Palatial.
old, yeah.
Yeah, very wealthy.
And we've visited a few of them, two of them here in Natchez, both of them in a big park, and one of them wasn't built finished because
Longwood House,
yeah, and because then the Civil War came along, and then they ran out of money, and the Yankees took the money, and they never had the money to finish it, so it was only the basement. But very interesting. Rooms and fireplaces.
32 rooms.
32 rooms.
24 closets. 26 fireplaces.
Yeah.
30,000 square feet.
30,000 square feet, and that's 2,787 square meters. It's a big house.
Yeah, a lot of history here, and I think that's why I'm here. A lot of history, with the Red Indians, the Indians of Natchez, and all the molds that they made, which I thought was very, very interesting. And of course, the mighty Mississippi River.
Oh yeah.
What a tale! What a tale! Slaves escaping from the palatial Annabelle homes, down the Mississippi River. The industry being taken from one town to another, sailing it all down the Mississippi River.
Of course, there's a lot of cotton here, and we're sailing a lot of cotton up and down the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Can you see the tallest tree in the background?
Yeah.
That is one of the Indian mounds we have here on Frogmore Plantation.
Yeah.
And speaking about cotton, yesterday we went to a cotton farm, Frogmore.
Frogmore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I'm so glad we went. It was really...
Named after Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah, from England.
Yeah.
Named after Queen Victoria for Frogmore Estate.
Yeah.
Opposite...
Buckingham Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was interesting as well.
And there was a wonderful woman showing us around. She was bubbly.
She was very, wasn't she?
And you learn.
She was like a can of Pepsi Max.
Yeah, and I love the dialect and the
Sweet
way.
love.
Yeah, she called you sweet love.
Sweet love. I was like, oh, thank you. No one's ever called me sweet love before.
We still have these rectangular modules. They hold 15 bales of cotton. Today, a bale of cotton is at the modern press is 480 to 500.
It was fabulous, and obviously where the slaves lived as well. And they had a chapel,
beautiful
on the
little
ground.
wooden chapel.
Oh, the cross on the top, and that was again heartfelt. Just I couldn't speak.
No.
It was beautiful. That blew me away. I thought that was really nice to have a chapel on the land for the slaves. To be fair, that surprised me, and it gave me a bit of peace. That something nice did happen. That they had some respite somewhere. So I thought that was beautiful. And then obviously the cotton fields. It was just a mass. It was just like a green carpet.
Yeah,
wasn't
they
it?
still grow a lot of cotton there.
Well, apparently the first in the world. They're the biggest cotton providers. Well, I don't know whether that's what you say or the biggest producer. And then India is the second. Did you say?
I think, in fact, you're wrong. I think the U.S. is the third, and China was number 1, and India number 2, and USA number 3.
Oh, I didn't say it. She said it, didn't she? She said America was number 1.
Okay,
she said
then
America
I'm wrong.
was number 1.
I'll have to Google this.
Yeah, she said America was number 1. She said India was second.
Actually, I did Google it, and it's actually China that's the world's biggest cotton-producing country. India is number 2, and the United States is number 3.
And Natchez is a
historical place.
Yeah, I think something like 28 multimillionaires lived in the southern states of America, and 20 of them lived in Natchez in the 18th century, 17th century. And so it was a palatial part of the world to be in. And you can see that with the stately homes, even though it's not here anymore, you can still see.
And Natchez is not something that pops up when you say, I'm going to the US, I'm going to Natchez. But it is so nice here.
I think so.
Yeah.
I do. Most definitely. But the history and the beauty, the beauty and the story it tells. I mean, I'm so glad that I've come. And I think it's very sad that people don't. We even saw they don't have a Mississippi showboat anymore, and we were so lucky to see when we were having a drink on the Mississippi.
Yeah, they had a casino.
Yeah, they had the casino on the river, and we was like, no way.
But you're going to see a lot when you get to New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm going to go on that boat, so I'll be back up the river on that boat.
Really?
Yeah. So when you're having it, I'll let you know, and you can be having a drink at the Rolling Inn.
Yeah.
And or camp or the saloon.
Yeah.
Where we had a drink and. We had a dance there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We
did the first night. It's like, come on, we're going to the pub.
Yeah, and you had a dance. You had a dance with one of the locals as well.
Oh yeah. She was very, very welcoming, wasn't she?
Very welcoming.
That was quite weird, but nice.
Nice, yeah. So is that the way you travel? What do you look for when you get to a new place?
I want the heart and soul. I want the soul of a place. Hence why I'm doing this, because hotels don't. You can be anywhere in the world in any hotel. If you're in the Hyatt, you can be anywhere.
That is exactly what I've been saying for the last year. So
why would you want to be in? You could be anywhere, and it just doesn't do it for me. The age I am, I want real.
Yeah.
I want soul. I want heart. I want to learn on my journey. I want something new. I want to open my mind to everything that's out there.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels and guest houses and hostels around the world in one simple search. Hotels25.com. It's best price guaranteed.
Denmark.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I won't let you forget this one. Bobo.
Denmark.
Never, ever. Every time I think of Denmark, every time I see it, I'll be thinking of that. I'll chuckle to myself.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. You can see pictures, watch videos, and read much more on theradiovagabond.com. Pale can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at theradiovagabond.com.